Because of his determination not to die early in this new world, Fleo is open to using all the spells at his disposal to get rid of or incapacitate Fenris. The system shows him a bunch of spells that he can use. Fenris comes charging at him, and he uses the meteoric leap to escape from the impending danger. This comes as a surprise and new thing to him, and while he is exclaiming about this, Fenris comes charging at him again, but he uses the spell known as Earth Rampart to block her visuals and stop her attack. He uses another spell to change his location, and then pins the beast down with a gravitational spell. Fenris is shocked to see this, and she starts to wonder how it is hard for her to move. Fleo then asks the system if there is any spell that he can use in pinning Fenris down. The voice assistant recommends that he use the subjugation spell, and this makes Fleo remember how the demi-humans in his world are being treated. Because of this, Fleo says he is not interested in using the spell. While he is debating about this, Fenris uses anti-gravitational magic in an attempt to break out of the situation. The voice assistant starts warning Fleo that he needs to use the subjugation magic, but he doesn't want to. He insists that he is not going to use the spell and starts asking for another spell that he can use. Unfortunately, there is no spell that he can use in this instance, and Fenris is trying really hard to break from the spell holding her down. Even in the face of danger, Fleo refuses to use the subjugation magic, and luckily for him, Fenris no longer has the strength to move, forcing her to surrender. Fenris then tells Fleo to terminate her because there is no glory in a fighter losing a fight. However, Fleo lets him know that he is not interested in terminating her because he is not a violent person in the first place. He releases the gravitational magic on Fenris, giving her the chance to stand up. Fenris is surprised to hear this, and she reminds Fleo that she is a demon who fights humans. Fleo lets her know that he really doesn't care if someone is a human or a demon. Fleo lets her know that he is just not interested in terminating someone who has surrendered. Hearing this, Fenris decides to change into her human form, and she now looks bigger than before. She is bare, and Fleo quickly covers her body with a coat. Fleo tells Fenris that he is willing to let her leave if she promises not to fight humans again. In addition to this, he is going to give her clothes from his bottomless bag. Just then, Fenris passes out, and Fleo gets scared, but the voice assistant assures him that the girl is just sleeping because she has depleted her magic. Fleo is relieved to hear this after all. Later that night, Fleo is seen going through the bunch of powerful magic that he has, and he starts to wonder why he is blessed with lots of powerful magic. Moments later, Fenris wakes up, and she starts to wonder how a human was able to take her down. She is resistant to magic, but a human whom she has always considered a weak race easily takes her down. She realizes that her magic is fully recovered also, and she walks to Fleo. She asks him if he used healing magic on her, and he says yes. Fenris appreciates everything that Fleo does for her, letting him know that someone else would have skinned her or taken advantage of her. As an appreciation of this, she tells Fleo that she is willing to dedicate her life to him. She wants to become Fleo's servant, so she can call him master, but Fleo doesn't think this is necessary. Fleo says he is not the type of person who owns other people. Fenris tries to use her emotional eyes, but this also doesn't work on the guy. Fenris then threatens to terminate herself if Fleo doesn't accept her as a servant. Seeing that Fenris is not ready to give up, Fleo tells her that she is allowed to follow him. Fenris is happy to hear this, and once this is settled, Fleo lets her know that he is not originally from this world. He explains to her how he was summoned as a hero candidate, but because he lacks skills, he was tossed out to die in the forest. He then shows her a visual of how he really looks without the camouflage. He lets her know that he is hiding his identity because he doesn't want anyone from the castle to recognize him. He tells Fenris that life might be difficult for her if she decides to follow him. Fenris then replies that she doesn't mind suffering with Fleo. She assures him that people of his nature do not abandon their masters. She lets Fleo know that she is going to stay by his side to the end. On the other hand, the hero and his army have returned, but they are defeated by the demon army. He stands in front of the king, telling him that the soldiers are to blame for the loss because they broke the formation. He even tells the king that he should be happy that he brought some of the soldiers back home safely with him. After saying this, he leaves. The king then asks one of the soldiers who are present on the battlefield how things went down. The soldier tells the king that the hero stood at the rear of the army and didn't even attack when everything was going south. It turns out that the majority of the soldiers have started expressing their displeasure toward the hero. The hero is seen talking about how he has not improved since he arrived in that world. He considers himself so weak that even a low-level beast will take him down. He is in the middle of this when his lovely assistant, Tsuya, shows up. Fleo immediately forgets about his worries and takes Tsuya away so that they can have a pleasurable time together. Up next, Fleo and Fenris enter the town to visit the Adventurers Guild and try to find a task that will earn them money. As they walk to the guild, Fleo lets Fenris know that he is not used to the fact that she is calling him master. He suggests that she use his real name, and he is still talking about this when a stall owner addresses the two as if they are a couple. It immediately dawns on Fleo that they can actually lie to people that they are a couple to reduce suspicions. Fenris is very open to this and cannot wait to start addressing Fleo as her husband. They get to the guild, and Fenris is surprised that a small tag can hold that much information. Fleo is still E-ranked, which is the same thing that they are going to allocate to Fenris. When it is time for her registration and the attendant asks her what her name is, she is about to spill out her real name when Fleo cuts in and says her name is Rice. Fenris later apologizes to Fleo, telling her that she has forgotten about the fact that they are not supposed to use their real names. Just then, the guild raises the alarm about a new task that has just emerged. They are informed that a group of psycho bears have been spotted, and they need adventurers who are willing to take care of it regardless of their ranks. The adventurers hear this, but no one is ready to take the task because these are the same psycho bears that took down the hero's party. The reward for this task is 10 times, but there is no one who is ready to take it. Fenris tells Fleo that they should take the task. Fleo doesn't want to take the task because he believes that he is not strong enough, but Fenris offers to go instead. She wants to take them down and prove to Fleo that she is useful. Because of this, the two end up going to the forest where the bears have been sighted. They see a house in the forest, and the two immediately agree to use this house as a base. Fleo is willing to test out some new spells, and this is the reason he wants to hunt down the bears, accompanying Fenris. Just then, the two hear a scream in the distance, and they rush over to check. They find out that Balarosa and her team are surrounded by a bunch of bears. The bears are about to overpower the knights when Fleo takes them down with a lightning attack. The last of the bears tries to make a last-ditch attack, but Fenris takes it out with just a kick to the back. The knights are surprised to see Fleo saving them once again. They were worried that he wasn't going to survive against Fenris. Balarosa then asks him who the girl is. Fleo quickly introduces Fenris as Reese, just as they have planned. He tells them that Fenris is his travel companion. Fenris feels hurt that Fleo didn't introduce her to the girls as his wife. She is still burning with anger when a surviving bear shows up from behind and tries to attack Fenris, but merely looking at the beast makes it lose his mobility. The bear immediately lets it known that he has surrendered. Fenris wastes no time in suggesting that they take the bear as their pet. She wants to do this because of personal achievements, but Fleo lets her know that he just wants to tame the beast to prevent it from hurting anyone else. He then uses the restriction spell on the bear to keep it in shape. The two realize that people are still going to be scared of the bear the way it is, and Fleo uses the shape-shifting spell to change the bear into a smaller size and cute bear. The two decide to name the bear Saiba, and while they are concluding all of this, Balarosa and her team are just left wondering how a terrifying beast is rendered powerless by the two. Balarosa then approaches Fleo, asking him for a favor. For discussion, the team enters the forest base to talk. The knights start by introducing themselves. There is Balarosa, Bileri, Blossom, and Balano. Once they are done with the introductions, Balarosa begs Fleo to teach them how to fight. Fleo is surprised to hear this, and Balarosa continues by explaining to Fleo that the forces who were with the hero were wiped out. After this happened, he locked himself within a stronghold, saying he was only going to show himself when he had found a good right-hand man for himself. The king then orders the knights to train harder till they are able to take down beasts on their own. Balarosa then tells Fleo that she and her team are still not cut out for this, and this is the reason they want Fleo to teach them. Fleo starts to wonder how he is supposed to do this because he himself doesn't even know how his magic works. He is still thinking about this when he realizes that Fenris is fuming with anger, as if she should terminate the girls. Fleo immediately catches on to the fact that she might be jealous, and quickly tells the girls that Fenris is his wife. The girls hear this and decide to back off, but because Fenris is now happy, she tells Fleo that it is going to be a good idea for him to train the girls. Fleo then tells the girls that he is not confident in his training skills, but he is going to try his best. The girls are happy to hear this and let Fleo know that they are going to do their best. Fenris even accepts that the girls are going to stay inside the house with her and Fleo. Later on, the Demon King receives a report from one of his generals, Uliminas. The king is informed that they have been able to find out that the person who purified the Delavaza forest is nothing but one person. Hearing this, the king tells his subordinates that they should do whatever they need to do and make sure that this individual is captured.